Welcome back to the Social Playbook, where we dive into the psychology behind some of the world's most magnetic figures. Today we're analyzing someone whose voice has become a global phenomenon, Joe Rogan. He's the host of one of the most successful podcasts in history, the Joe Rogan Experience, and he has built an empire that attracts millions of listeners every single week. From MMA fans to philosophers, comedians to scientists, Joe has created a space where people from all walks of life tune in for one reason: Joe himself. But what exactly makes him so irresistible to listen to? What is it about his style that keeps audiences hooked for hours? Today we're breaking down the Joe Rogan blueprint, the key elements that make him one of the most influential figures in media today.
Them straw Kentucky Derby hats.
Number 1. The power of the perfect question. Joe Rogan isn't just a podcaster, he's a master at asking questions. But it's not just about being curious, it's about asking the right questions at the right time. The questions Joe asks are designed to pull out stories, insights, and deeper reflections from his guests. Here's why his questioning style works so well. The open-ended approach. Joe rarely asks yes or no questions. His style revolves around asking open-ended questions that invite guests to elaborate, explore, and often reveal more than they intend. This creates rich, flowing conversations that allow the guest's personality and expertise to shine.
One of them Daniel Boone raccoon caps.
Yeah, but
You got that tail in your eye.
The follow-up game. What separates Joe from the other interviewers is his ability to listen deeply. He doesn't just ask one question and move on. He listens intently to every response, then uses follow-up questions to dig deeper into the topic. This creates engaging back and forth that pulls the audience in. Authenticity and curiosity. The key to Joe's success is that he doesn't pretend to know everything. He comes from a place of genuine curiosity, and this allows him to connect with his guests and listeners on a human level. It's this humble, I don't know everything mentality that makes people feel like they're having a conversation with a friend. Take this interview with Elon Musk. Joe didn't come in with a script. He just asked genuine, curious questions that sparked some of the most fascinating conversations about space, AI, and even the future of humanity. This is the secret sauce, his ability to ask questions that feel like they're pulling out the truth, making listeners feel like they're part of an unfolding conversation. Number 2. Adapting to any guest every time. One of Joe Rogan's greatest strengths is his ability to adapt to any guest that walks through the door. Whether he's sitting down with a world-renowned scientist or a stand-up comedian, Joe never misses a beat. What's his secret? The chameleon approach. Joe knows how to match the energy and expertise of each guest. When he's talking to a UFC fighter, he brings the intensity and passion. When he's talking to a scientist, he slows down and listens intently, letting the conversation unfold naturally. Reading the room. Joe's a master of tuning into the rhythm of the conversation. He reads body language, tone, and even pauses, allowing him to adjust his questions and engagement based on how his guest is reacting. This makes each conversation feel tailored and personal. Comfortable conversations across all fields. Unlike other hosts who might struggle to discuss a variety of topics, Joe is equally comfortable discussing everything from comedy to psychedelics to politics.
Changing flavor.
One of the teachers yelled out, "Oh my God, he's changing flavors." That's how bad these farts were.
His adaptability makes him a bridge between various worlds, and people from all walks of life tune in to see how he'll handle the next guest. Watch how effortlessly he transitions from a deep, philosophical conversation with Jordan Peterson to a lighthearted chat with comedian Tom Segura. His ability to adapt makes each episode feel fresh and engaging. Joe has mastered the art of shifting gears, making every guest feel comfortable while keeping the conversation engaging for listeners. Number 3. Building a cult following through relatability. Joe Rogan's success isn't just about his interviewing skills, it's built on his relatability. The truth is, Joe doesn't try to be something he's not. He's just a regular guy who happens to ask insightful questions and get interesting people to talk. Here's how he taps into that relatability. The everyman persona. Joe has a way of speaking that makes listeners feel like they're part of a conversation. He's not out of reach, he's one of us. His down-to-earth demeanor, humor, and candidness create a sense of trust and connection. Self-deprecating humor. Joe doesn't take himself too seriously, and that humility is endearing.
Day, you had to come quick because a leopard might eat you.
Whether he's joking about his own lack of knowledge or making fun of his friends, that authenticity is a big part of why people keep coming back. Creating a shared community. The Joe Rogan Experience isn't just a podcast, it's a movement. His listeners feel like they're part of something bigger. Joe has created a space where people feel like they belong, and they're all in on the joke. Take the Joe Rogan Experience number 1439, Post Malone's episode. Joe's authenticity and ability to create a relaxed, fun environment make you feel like you're sitting in the room with them. Joe has built a loyal, almost cult-like following by staying true to who he is, making listeners feel like they're part of his inner circle. Number 4, the power of long-form conversations. Joe Rogan's podcast stands out because of its length. While most shows are only a few minutes, Joe can last for hours, and yet people tune in and stay hooked. Why? The power of deep dives. Joe doesn't rush his guests. He lets them explain their ideals fully, diving into topics most podcasts shy away from. This allows for deeper understanding, and listeners appreciate being part of a long-form conversation that doesn't have to be cut short. Breaking the information barrier. In an age where information is consumed in sound bites, Joe's long episodes are a refreshing break. He allows for detailed, thoughtful exchanges that go beyond the typical 5-minute news cycle, and that's why listeners don't mind investing the time. Look at this 2-part interview with Dr. Rhonda Patrick. 2 hours of health and fitness talk that feels like you're sitting down with your smartest friend. Joe's long-form conversations are where the real magic happens. They create space for complex ideas and more genuine connection with his audience. Number 5, a relentless work ethic. Joe's success doesn't just come from his talent or personality, it comes from his insane work ethic. He doesn't take breaks, he's constantly pushing, consistently delivering high-quality content day in and day out. This relentless pursuit of excellence is contagious. His audience feeds off of his passion and energy, and it drives them to keep tuning in for more. Joe's consistent output is one of his defining traits. Whether he's putting out 3 episodes a week or producing hours of content, it's clear he's dedicated to his craft. Joe's commitment to his craft is unmatched, and that dedication is a big part of why his listeners stay so loyal. If you want to keep people hooked like Joe Rogan does, master the art of asking the right questions, adapt to your guests, build a relatable persona, dive deep into conversation, and most importantly, work relentlessly to bring the best content possible. Joe didn't just stumble into greatness, he built it with intention, curiosity, and a tireless work ethic. So next time you sit down to engage with others, ask yourself, how can I create the same kind of magnetic presence? Because if Joe can do it, so can you. Thanks for watching the Social Playbook. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit like, subscribe, and let us know in the comments, who should we analyze next?